Welcome back to the Open Wheel Offline League Season 5, Round 15. We're getting close to the final quarter of the season championship. Although the gap is large, still a lot to be determined. As let's go through your starting grid for today's race. Starting in the 27th position in row 14 by himself, 2 races in a row is going to be the double zero of Global Lore. Just didn't get enough speed in qualifying and no speed at all for Tinkle McStinkle starting in row 13, and his teammate Miles Rowe is on the inside, just within the leader circle by only a few points over David Malukas. Row 12 is where you find Stingray Rob, and to his inside, Francesco Draconi, who's starting to fall behind the rookie of the season standings, and with where he qualified, it's not going to help him out all too much. Row 11 on the outside is the 87 of Alessio Deletta. Disappointing qualifying effort for him. A couple mistakes. Then to his inside is the 75 of Devlin DiFrancesco. Row 10 on the outside is the number 94 of Dawa Tenzin, one of his better road course qualifyings. And to his inside, David Malukas, who really needs some points to get into that leader circle. With not much time left, you really want to make sure that you can get those $1 million. And right now he's down by just 7 points. Up to row 9, Mahavir Raghunathan was 1 lap down during Pocono and then came back to finish in the top 10. Very good drive from the Indian driver. And then to his inside, the rookie Lawless Allen coming off a DNF after a pretty decent qualifying effort. His teammate Ethan Martz is on the outside in row 8, and then to his inside is Carlos Huertas, who had his best qualifying effort at Pocono, but couldn't quite convert to a good result, caught up in a late accident. Row 7 on the outside, Robbie Lohr hasn't had good luck recently, and then to his inside, the number 29 of Benjamin Peterson. Up to row 6 on the outside, the 99 of Brendan Hubbard. Pocono didn't quite go his way, but Lindsay Brewer, Pocono very much went her way. Also was 1 lap down at one point and then came back to finish 4th. There were a few more laps on that thing. She very much could have won it, but today she'll start from 11th. And then your Pocono winner, Ryan Preece, got his first win of the season. First win for Toyota, first win for the team this season. He was close at Pocono last season, almost threw it away this time, but was able to get it done and shoots all the way up to 6th in points. And then to his inside, disappointing Pocono effort from number 90 of Guy Gagne looking to rebound here today. Row 4 is Swindlers of the Immortals drivers Louis Foster on the outside and then Dorian Pin on the inside, coming off 2 straight podiums. Ovals have seemed to be in her favor, but road courses have been lacking. She'll be starting from 7th today. Row 3 on the outside on a very hot streak lately. Justin Allgaier, who's moved all the way up to 4th in points. In the last few races, he has had a first and a second, which has shot him all the way up in points. And then Chet Jordan has had a disaster of the last few races. Back-to-back DNFs and a very disappointing Monza result, finishing in 22nd, has made him drop from 7th to 13th in points. Needs to make up those points. Speaking of points, Nolan Siegel sits second in points. I know it says fourth, but he's actually in second. Trying to close the gap to Shane Van Gisbergen, actually lost by just 2 points at Pocono. But a lot can still happen. He's going to be with Connor Zilic on the inside, who's going to be looking for some redemption after being the dominant force for most of Pocono, but then a late contact with Ryan Preece took him out of the race. Then your front row, it's the usual Marcus Armstrong and Shane Van Gisbergen. Armstrong has had horrific luck as of late and has dropped from 2nd to 5th in points. He needs a good day today. And then Shane Van Gisbergen looking to extend his points lead, and he's going to be the one they're chasing. And with where he is today, a win could very much seal it up. It wouldn't be confirmed yet, but it would be pretty hard for any drivers to overcome. Siegel's down by 73, Foster 87, Allgaier 97, and Armstrong has dropped to 120 points back. Swindlers of the Immortals, pretty safe to say that they're probably going to win the team's championship. Just hasn't been confirmed yet. But we are in Coda for the second time, first time since Season 2. That was won by, I believe, Ross Fetterman, I believe. But Shane Van Gisbergen started on pole from there. 25 laps for 85.5 miles. Sim time is August 16th, and if you look at the track, a lot of winding turns, but long straightaways into tight hairpins, allowing for a lot of passing today. It's going to be a competitive one. So Glubler Lord going to be starting from the pit lane as seems to be some trouble with the guys at the back there when it comes to gridding. I don't know why the 76 was so far back. I think they're figuring it out. Gotta make sure that no one ended up getting a black flag, as apparently 00 did. Don't know what that's about. But let's take a look at your tire compound choices. Very important on the road course races. Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be starting on the mediums, uh, which is usually the preferred car or preferred tire. Marcus Armstrong on the aggressive soft tires. Zilich will be on the mediums. Nolan Siegel will be on the mediums, so mediums seeming to be popular. Chet Jordan will be on the mediums. Allgaier on the mediums. Dorian Pin will be your first car on the hards, all the way back in 7th. And then Louis Foster on the softs down in 8th. Gagne on the mediums in 9th. Ryan Preece on the mediums in 10th. Lindsey Brewer on the mediums in 11th. And then Brendan Hubbard on the softs down in 12th. So hards very much do not seem to be a popular choice. Mediums seem to be the very popular choice for today's race. 00 is caught up. Let's take a look at your weather really quick. It is a scorcher, 88 degrees, no wind, and it's clear skies, so no cloud cover. It's going to help the drivers today. It's going to be a hot one. Gotta stay cool and calm. Shane Van Gisbergen through. Through 9 road course races. He has won 5 of them. So he's likely the favorite today. But yes, if he does win, that's going to make it really tough for anyone to overcome the points difference. Now the field grids up 2 by 2. It's 20 turn racetrack. A lot of elevation change. A lot of tight turns. Strategy always going to be a factor. Consider the yellow flags. As let's get ready to go. They are lined up 2 by 2 into the final turn. And Shane Van Gisbergen's going to have the better line, and he's going to lead us to green. Armstrong doesn't go too quick, and Zilich not much better. So Van Gisbergen looks well and clear into turn 1. Armstrong and Zilich side by side, but Armstrong's going to get ahead as Dorian Pin's slow right in the middle on the hard tires. It's going to be difficult to go through on those. Nolan Siegel was on a very wide line going into the S's. Van Gisbergen ahead of Armstrong. Zilich ahead of Siegel. Armstrong is on the soft tires, so he's going to want to try and get by Van Gisbergen early. As Dawa Tenzin has gone around in the final turn, he's gotten back going. So that won't be any sort of yellow, but Dorian Pin is very slow actually. So she might have had contact at the start and is limping around to the start-finish line. She was around the middle of the pack. So unfortunate contact right in the middle of the field. Started from 7th, was one of her better road course qualifying efforts. It's not meant to be. Van Gisbergen will lead the first lap as Chet Jordan side by side with Justin Allgaier. He's on the preferred line. Louis Foster coming up the inside. Still side by side for the 24 and 14, but Allgaier is going to stay ahead as Benjamin Peterson is up on his roof, and that is going to be a yellow flag. And there's another car with him, and I believe that's David Malukas. Alessio Deletta also involved. We have a lot to look at right here. So, oh, he's just going to shoot up the inside of his teammate, Lindsey Brewer. Way too late, way too optimistic. And then Malukas is going to do the same thing with Raghunathan. And then with where he's going to be in Deletta, he's just going to fire it up, and it's too late. He's just going to end up right behind them. So that's already a couple cars done for the day. Let's go back and see what happened to Dorian Pin going into turn 1 on the start. All clean here. And she's going to be swallowed up 3 wide. Gagne just runs right into her on the inside. That's going to damage the car. Let's go back and see what she saw. So you're going to see the 90 come up here. And bam. I don't know if Pin knew he was there or not, and then going to make a little bit of contact with the 47. But then got hit again by her teammate on the next lap. So trouble. Turn 1 is tight. And it's already causing some problems here. So a couple cars made up a good amount of spots at the start. Globler up 7 is your biggest mover, 27th to 20th. This does help Marcus Armstrong on the soft tires. Want to make it to about lap 13 to be safe. Dorian Pin did make it back to the pits. Peterson and Malukas being stuck upside down had to get a tow, and that's going to hurt for Malukas being on that leader's circle cutoff. entered just 7 points below, and that's not going to help. And Miles Rowe had a good start. He is all the way up to 16th from 25th, so he's up 9 actually. He's the biggest mover. Good start for him. Draconi also had a good start. He's up to 17th. So gonna see if anyone will come in this time. It is only lap 3. So I don't think you'd be able to make it to the end if you do pit now. You might see a couple guys at the back just go, why not? I'm not gonna lose many spots. As Miles Rowe is going to be the first one to do so, made up the most spots at the start. He is followed by Ragunathan, DiFrancesco, Rob, McStinkle, and Deletta. Tenzin still out there. He'll be at the tail end, but one lap to green. Restart single file. Rowe gonna win the race off pit road. Stingray Rob gonna jump up to second with a good stop. He may have only just took fuel. So Ragunathan is actually still in pit lane. He's the one that made contact with David Malukas, or I should say Malukas made contact with him. Malukas and Peterson are back out on track, only one lap down each. It didn't look like the damage was all that much. It's just wheel-to-wheel contact. Dorian Pin is also going to leave pits. I don't know what her count is going to be on laps behind. I think 3. And then Ragunathan's also going to leave the pit. So we still got 27 cars out here. Pin will be down by 2 laps. Not ideal. You're going to need at least 4 yellows to get that back. Which, judging on how that was only lap 2 and all that happened, very well happen again. Turn 1 is a big mystery corner. Just like the bus stop chicane at Spa when it comes to the AI. They sometimes don't quite know what they're doing. Over-aggressive dive bombs not paying off. Your top 6 is how they started, besides Allgaier ahead of Chet Jordan. That happened going into turn 1. Then Chet Jordan tried fighting back around the final turn in turn 20, but Allgaier hold him off in turn 1. As let's get ready to go back green, pace car will pull off here. And let's try it again. Ragunathan not going to make it back to the line in time, but Van Gisbergen will lead us to green. Up they go into turn 1. Armstrong up the inside, can't quite get there. You got to be careful going into turn 1. And Guy Gagné nearly had an incident in the middle of the pack, but Van Gisbergen is away well. Here they go, snaking through the S's. What a unique set of turns. Armstrong needs to make the most of these soft tires, or else he is going to be in trouble. But right now he is losing time down to 9/10 back. Illich and Siegel not far behind him. As Allgaier taking the defensive line from the 24 of Chet Jordan. Van Gisbergen 1.3 seconds ahead as Armstrong's tire advantage already worn off in just a couple laps. He's actually just closed in by a few tenths, so maybe I need to knock on some wood. There was a little bit of tire life, but he needs to hurry up and close in. Got to make it to about 12 laps to go to be safe. As Robbie Lord going to be the first one to pull off. He is on the hard tires, so not quick enough to work out. We saw them work out at Monza pretty well. But he is already going to switch to another pair. With 20 laps left, that's going to be pretty hard for him to get anywhere, as everyone going through here. Lucas now in the free pass zone, so they've already made it better than what they had earlier. Armstrong with a defensive line going down the straight, very defensive line going down the straightaway. And Siegel's going to try and go around the outside of his teammate. Siegel needs the points more than Zilich does at this point, as they are very close side by side, snaking through this section. 2 sets of double-handed turns. Very close. Chet Jordan did move back up into 5th, got by Allgaier. Foster in 7th, Hubbard in 8th, just ahead of Ryan Preece in 9th. Then Guy Gagné, last car in the top 10, in 10th. Armstrong is going very defensive with his lines, but that has cost him 4.5 seconds to Shane Van Gisbergen. Right now, just ahead of the 9 and the 19. They are all over his rear wing. As look at that, Zilich, huge dive around the outside, and that's going to work out. He is going to get ahead and have more momentum off the turn. Now he has to hold off Armstrong going down the straight, but he's given a draft help to Siegel, his teammate, and Siegel's going to try and cross over, and Chet Jordan might get Armstrong as well. Side by side for Vasily Men Racing teammates, and Armstrong just lost out on 3 positions, probably still side by side with the 24 now. He has been passed, and he might lose another to Allgaier right here. So a devastating blow to the 33, just lost out on 4 spots in the span of about 4 turns. Zilich 7 seconds back from the leader. Has a lot of work to do to try to close in on that number 1, as Armstrong going to come into pit lane. To be expected with the amount of time he was bleeding. Now going to see if Zilich can close in or if Van Gisbergen is well ahead at this point. Right now he'd be leaving here with a pretty solid points gap. As we have a pile up in turn 1, Guy Gagné is backwards in front of the field. As we did just have a car disappear, and that is going to be yellow flag, and now he is driving on top of Francesco Draconi. And now there's the 00 on top of someone. Don't know who that was. Armstrong is right in the middle of it. And Armstrong's going to have to despawn because of all that. So a lot of cars just got taken out in a stack up in turn 1. That's going to be a long towing time as well. So what happened to the number 90? This is so the 47 up the inside was there, and Brewer's just going to ramp over him. And then Gagne is going to be parked right in front of traffic. We have Martz, Draconi, Allen, Glubler. He's going to come in behind the 75. He's already getting pushed by Peterson here. And then he's just going to run over DeFrancesco. And still running him over. And Armstrong's going to be right in the middle of it. Malukas is going to be the lucky dog here. So that is caution number 2 of the day. And a lot of cars were involved in that one. Bad luck for Armstrong continues. We're going to have to see if he can get back out there. I assume they're going to try at least. But yes, the 04 of David Malukas will get the lucky dog. 20 cars We're still out here. DeFrancesca's the last car running, but he probably has some damage from being ran over. But that is going to open strategy options here. And if you pit now, you might be able to make it to the end. Let's see, where are we? We're about lap 9 of 25. You could maybe, I think you could do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a lot of the drivers pull off here. Especially guys like Foster and Hubbard on the soft tires. Try to cut through the field. Miles Rowe continues to be the biggest mover. He is up to 11th from where he started back in 25th, up 14 spots. This is a good day for him. Also ran pretty well at Pocono. Caught up in a late incident, no damage, but had to slow down. Gonna have to see what the pit stops are here. Will anyone come in? Doesn't look like we have any takers, shockingly. Actually, we do. Lindsay Brewer, she might have damage, so she may be in here for a while. Deletta, Tenzin, Rob, McStinkle, Ragunathan, Robbie, Draconi, and DeFrancesco. David Malukas will have the lucky dog. So the strategy in this race may have just gotten flipped on its head. No pun intended from the drivers before. As expected, Brewer taking a long stop here. As Malukas is going to cut through the field, get his lap back. Running in the 21st position. The Brewers out on track. Triconi back out on track. DeFrancesco still in the pits. No sign from Gagne, Glubler, Armstrong, Peterson, or Martz on what they are doing, or if any of them can even get back out on track. If that's the end of their race, let's try to see. No indication. DeFrancesco has gotten back going, 63-second stop. as a good few of them just came back to the pits. All will be 1 lap down. Armstrong's going to leave here. He didn't have any damage, so he's just going to be 1 lap down right now in the lucky dog position. So he's hoping that there's going to be another yellow so he can get his lap back. Going to be a good bit behind the field. Just that 33 team, all of Silly Men Racing cannot catch a break, it seems. So the guys up here all decided to stay out. Your first cars that pit are, well, Miles Rose, the first car who pit, but he pit 6 laps before everyone else. Stingray Rob is currently the first car that pit on that last sequence. Gonna restart here at about halfway distance. The 00 and the 29 have refired. The 76 seems like they might be done for the day. Gagne still sits in pit lane. Van Gisbergen's 8-second lead has gone away. Armstrong no longer in second. Zilich is going to try and chase him down. 21 cars remain on the lead lap. Pace car will pull off here. And we are back to green flag racing. Shane Van Gisbergen, your leader, followed by the 2 Viking racing cars of Zilich and Siegel. Jet Jordan looking to go around the outside of Siegel, and they're going to make contact. A little bit of contact right there. Gonna have to see if everything is okay for those 2 cars. Jordan did not give Siegel much room. Van Gisbergen already 1 second up the road from Connor Zilich. Siegel followed by Jordan. And the number 19's not going to be that happy at the 24 car, I'd assume. Foster's still out here on the soft. Same with Hubbard. And same with Huertas. And none of these cars have pit before. Ryan Preece is on the mediums. Van Gisbergen 1.5 seconds up the road. Here comes Zilich. Ryan Preece gets by the 2 cars on the soft tires. 15 to go still. A little while to halfway, which is where these guys would like to make it. Gagne gonna exit the pits now. He is going to be 2 laps down. Close to 3. Running in the 26th position. Zilich has a run on Van Gisbergen now. Coming out of the final turn. Up towards turn 1, the trouble turn. Zilich on the inside of Van Gisbergen. And there will make contact. Zilich gets a little bit of air. Van Gisbergen and Zilich are still side by side. Contact between the top 2. Van Gisbergen and Zilich came together in turn 1. Both cars still running. But are they okay? And at 100%. Third and fourth have also come together at some point. Turn 1 tight radius can cause big problems. They just found out right there. Deletta and Hubbard close into turn 9. Priest is up to 6th as Robbie Lohr has spun around. And Siegel is going up the outside of Zilich, and he has more speed and he's going to carry it. I think that number 9 might be a bit wounded. I don't expect the 19 is going to be much better. We're going to have to see if he can close in on Van Gisbergen here. Because Van Gisbergen did take a decent hit. Guy that was really cheering for a yellow there was Marcus Armstrong, currently in the lucky dog position. David Malukas did pit a lap before. That's why he is a little bit behind the pack. 1.2 seconds up here as Foster is finally going to peel off on the soft tires, but I think he's made it to a pretty good distance to where he can make it home. If he made it this long on softs, he can make it home definitely. Hubbard will follow. 1.5 seconds is the lead between Van Gisbergen and Siegel, the top two in points. Right now, if this is how it is, Van Gisbergen will leave with an 83-point lead, roughly. Siegel 1.1 seconds back. He is closing in. He's just going to need to make sure that he doesn't have any troubles. As the 37 of Miles Rowe is around. And he was having a good day up to this point. He has dropped down to 18th. 1.1 seconds still the gap. As Siegel just lost a lot of time through those turns. That's how much it's fluctuating back and forth, but these two drivers very close together on pace. Still anyone's game. As here comes Zilich around the outside of his teammate and makes it look easy. Huge move by the number 9. Might have been a swap for position as Siegel was losing a ton of time. Zilich 2.4 seconds back from Van Gisbergen now. And they are losing time. As DiFrancesco has gone around at the front of the field, Brewer, McStinkle, Armstrong again. As Miles Rowe going to sneak through there. And cars are despawning once again. Armstrong involved once again. And that is going to be a second yellow flag of the day. DiFrancesco around in front of the field. And it's Lindsey Brewer again. Big dive up the inside and just going to tap the 75. McStinkle, Armstrong, Triconi, Robbie, Peterson again, Glubler again. Foster is going to try to sneak through. Glubler's going to get by there. As now Devlin's going to drive over the number 10. As he loops back around, Malukas was right there in the mix as well. So third yellow of the day, turn 1 chaos strikes yet again. Armstrong cannot catch a break. As Foster is struggling to make it back around. Might be showing the 75 what he thinks of him. Driving right back over him. That's third in the championship. With issues right there. So Lucky Dog might be the 00, but if he was counted for contact, then it won't be him. It might be the 43 of Dorian Pin, which is what she needs. Foster gonna enter pits there. McStinkle gonna join him. Unfortunate for a lot of those drivers, but just nowhere to go. As the 53, I think they all just got despawned. I think that's day done for all of them. Possibly. Yeah, I think that might be day done for Brewer, Robbie, Draconi, McStinkle, Armstrong. Dang. And March was already out, so that's a lot of cars that just got taken out there. The iRacing gods did not want him around. That is unfortunate for Marcus Armstrong. That is yet another DNF. That's 3 straight for the 33 team. So gonna see if anyone pits here. Does not look like it. Carlos Huertas will. He's on the soft tires, so that makes sense. Rowe, he spun around. Hubbard, why not? You're at the back. DeFrancesco, he's probably got some damage to fix. And he's on the soft tires. Foster still sits in pit lane. Gagne gonna come in as well, because why not? So I believe, yes, the 00 is gonna get the lucky dog here. DeFrancesco and Huertas with long stops. kind of racing does open up the door for an unusual winner or two. As Lindsey Brewer is actually going to make it back to the pits. She's going to get back going. The 21 cars still alive in this thing. 17 on the lead lap. Distance in the race, we are at 16 of 25. So these drivers up here, no one in the top 6 has pit. Everyone else pit at about lap 9, well at least Deletta has, he's the first car that has pit. Malukas last pit at 11. And Rowe last pit at 15. Those are the leaders of those that have pit in their respective stops. Here we go. Shane Van Gisbergen gonna lead us back to green. About 10 to go. And green flag is back out once again. 9 laps to go now. Up into the dangerous turn 1. Zilich tried making a move. Looked indecisive on it. And we have contact once again. I saw someone fly. And we got slow cars all over the place. Lindsey Brewer looks slow. DeFrancesco. But Zilich chasing down Van Gisbergen. 4/10 back. Now about half a second back. But if he can get a big draft going down the straightaway, he could be in arm's reach to be the first lead change of the day. Good exit there. Allgaier got by Priest, he's back into 5th. Now down the straightaway, gonna go wide. He's got a shot here. Side by side for the lead, and Zilich is gonna get by with ease. Van Gisbergen now down to 2nd. And Zilich now your race leader. Is this the day it finally happens? Or is he gonna have to wait once again? The alternate strategies are gonna make it pretty tough. Because these guys are gonna have to pit any lap now. But not this time. Gonna try and build a gap here. He's got to hope that Siegel can get Van Gisbergen before Van Gisbergen can get him. Siegel's looking at championship points here. Up into turn 1. Is he going to make a bold dive? No, he won't. And that's why he sits 2nd in the championship. No dumb risks. going into turn one like you've seen by some of these other drivers. No offense to them, but maybe not the wisest moves. Let's go on board with Siegel. Viking Racing trying to carve a 100-point gap from Shane Van Gisbergen down. It's happened before, side-by-side, wheel-to-wheel contact. And they're going to be wheel-to-wheel down the straightaway. First and second in points. Can it be done? Siegel going to go the long way around, like Zilich just did. But Van Gisbergen, much better on the throttle here. The one's going to have the long way around out in the gray, but 19 is going to clear him. Siegel into second. Van Gisbergen now dropping back. He is in the third place. Chet Jordan down to fourth, or Chet Jordan in fourth. Could be looking at his first podium of the season. Gonna have to see when these guys have to start pitting, but if you are Zilich, you try and go as long as you can and build that gap from the cars behind, but Van Gisbergen cannot go any longer. He pits now. He's going to come out at the tail end of the field, and he has 7 laps to try to carve his way upward. Zilich about 10 seconds up the road from Deletta, who's the first car that has pit today. And Raghunathan is backwards, not in a super dangerous spot. He's going to have to wait till Van Gisbergen goes by to get back going, as now he will. No yellow going to be thrown for that. Which would have been a help to Van Gisbergen. The 1.5 seconds, Viking Racing in the lead, but they don't seem to be in control. Right now, the podium of those that have pit is Deletta, Tenzin, and Malukas. Dawa Tenzin has never gotten the podium, but Malukas is going to go by there. He needs the leader circle points. And there's spots open with Robbie Lohr out of the race. 17 cars remain on the lead lap at this point. Dawa Tenzin, or sorry, Lawless Allen battling with Carlos Huertas and Brennan Hubbard. Tail end of the top 10. Hubbard bold around the outside. Viking Racing in control. Zilich cannot go any longer. He's going to come in now. Has an 11-second lead. Siegel will follow. Everyone going to follow. And it's going to leave Alessio Deletta with the lead with 6 to go. Last pit stop was at 9. With how long they went, he could probably make it to the end. Could he be looking at race win number 1 this season? Stingray Rob is backwards in the second to last turn. Right now a strange podium is forming as here comes Connor Zilich out of pit lane. He is going to pop up in 8th place. And he's going to be on the soft tires till the end. Was that a mistake choice? Siegel's also on the softs. Van Gisbergen is on the softs as well. Everyone on the softs that has pit recently with just 6 laps to go. I think that's a pretty decent choice. As Van Gisbergen trying to cut his way through the field right now behind the 00 of Glover Lohr, who needs leader circle points. Zilich needs to make up about 13 seconds in 6 laps. That's going to be a tough ask, but a podium is definitely in reach, as he's going to be right behind the 75 and 92, who have had a lot of issues today. Siegel has gotten by Miles Rowe. Van Gisbergen right now side by side with a teammate. Zilich up the inside of DeFrancesco makes it look easy. He is into 7th. Siegel still trying to cut his way forward. Same with Van Gisbergen. Chet Jordan down in 13th behind Glubler. Zilich picks off another one. He's now 11.5 seconds back. Still a huge gap to try to make. Deleta up by 5 seconds over Malukas. Malukas won podium on the season, came back at Spa. If he could get a podium today, what a story that would be. Dawa Tenzin could be looking at his first podium. He's going to have to hold off the number 7 and the 99. All of these drivers are on soft tires. As here comes Carlos Huertas. He goes around the outside of Dawa Tenzin into turn 1. And Nolan Siegel going to pick off the 47 here, but still has a couple cars in his way as Van Gisbergen going to punt Miles Rowe out of the way. An aggressive move from the number 1, punts the 37 off the road. As that one is, if we had race control, they'd be looking at that. Zilich has a teammate right in front of him of the 99 of Brennan Hubbard. Will Hubbard play nice for his team? Zilich up the inside. Don't want to make contact as he's going to be ahead here and now going to go by Dawa Tenzin. If he can make up about 2 seconds a lap, he could be in it. Deleta all the way back here. Malukas in second. Huertas in third. Zilich now in fourth. As Hubbard going to follow his teammate. Try to go around, and he will get that position. As Siegel going to go by Lawless Allen. Van Gisbergen will as well. Ted Jordan in 11th, just outside the top 10. These guys are all on the best tires right now up the road. Car on the softs that has pit 4 laps before him, but his tires are going to be much more killed. He is closing in quickly. And then 2 cars on the mediums. It is not done for the number 9, but he has a lot of work to do. 4 seconds between Deleta and Malukas. Zilich now chasing down Huertas in the number 7. Tries looking at a move. As he's going to get around here. Maybe not. Going to have to go wide. Meanwhile, the 00 is around with the 54 of Raghunathan. Both cars are going to get back going. As Raghunathan will run into the back of Glubler. We stay green. 4 to go. And Zilich is burning time now. He's got to get around to Huertas here, but once he gets by him, he has clean track up ahead. Meanwhile, Van Gisbergen has got around Nolan Siegel, and Huertas has gone super wide off the track, and that's going to make it easy for Zilich to get by. Van Gisbergen has gotten by Siegel, and that could be a big difference in the championship, as Siegel still stuck behind the 75 of DiFrancesco, which may allow Chet Jordan to have a run at him. And Chet Jordan going to go around the outside of Nolan Siegel. As Jordan's now up to 8th. David Malukas has gone off, and that's going to be another position for Zilich. Malukas struggling on the mediums, and right now he is not in a good spot to get back going, and the podium dream is quickly fading right in front of him. As now he's not even in the top 10, and that is leader circle points and money passing him by. Zilich only needs to do about 1 second a lap now. But if a yellow flag comes out here, that could be the end. But Malukas is back going, so we stay green. 3.5 seconds now. Huertas into the pits. He could not do any more. Van Gisbergen all up behind Dawa Tenzin. Chet Jordan now closing in. He's in 6th. Siegel in 7th. Allgaier in 8th. Right now, this is looking like the preferred strategy as Zilich is 2.8 seconds back. Two and a half. Hubbard currently in 3rd on the podium spot. He's 7 seconds clear of Van Gisbergen. I do not think Van Gisbergen is going to have it in him. 2.2 seconds for Zilich. He is there. 1.5 seconds. 1.3 seconds. His last win came at Oregon early in Season 4. And he is looking at a dream result here. Stingray Rob has gone off, but it looks like he will probably be able to get back going. 2 to go here. 8 tenths. 8 tenths is the gap. Chet Jordan just got by Dawa Tenzin. Dawa Tenzin bleeding spots right here. But the battle is up here. 2 tenths. Lawless Allen pits. He cannot make it anymore. Zilich almost won at Spa. Should have won Pocono. As the 77 and 54 have gone off. No yellow. Deletta gonna go a little bit wide here. This is gonna give Zilich a chance. Half a second back. Not the run out of the turn that he needed. And he's not gonna be able to make the move here. Critical. Especially if a yellow flag comes out with how much these cars have been spinning. Anything can happen. Who's going to get their first win of the season? Will it be Deletta or Zilich? And they may come together in turn 1, and that could be it. 2 tenths. Zilich may be able to make a move into the final turn here if he goes bold enough. But he knows his tires are fading. White flag here at Coda. Zilich has the run off the turn. And they're going to be side by side going down the front stretch into turn 1. Zilich needs to comfortably outbrake him to avoid incident, and Zilich is in the lead on the white flag. It has been many, many races since he has won. Already 1.5 seconds clear. Gagne in trouble, and he is upside down, but no yellow can be thrown on the last lap. So he's going to end his race on his lid. I believe David Malukas also fell out of the race with issue, but on the last lap, no yellow can be thrown. 1.2 seconds, just needs to make it around cleanly. Siegel back here with Van Gisbergen. If he can make an aggressive move, he could get by, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's going to drop just a couple more points back, but it does not matter to the team all that much if they can get the number 9 into victory lane for the first time since Oregon in Spain. Race 4, Season 4, around the final turn. Checkered flag. Connor Zilich is back in victory lane for his second career win. Alessio Deletta will come home in second, and then Brennan Hubbard will come home on the podium. Van Gisbergen gonna hold off Nolan Siegel by just a little bit here to take 4th. Siegel 5th, Jordan 6th, Allgaier 7th, and Priest 8th, all very close together. Dawa Tenzin looks like he's going to take his first top 10 of the season here in 10th. DeFrancesco, through all the trouble, is going to finish in 9th. Let's quickly take a look at what happened to the number 90. Was it the 75 again? Or the 50? Oh, he just runs into Raghunathan. And that is going to flip him over. That was on the last lap. Also at this point, the 04 had run into issue. What happened to him? He just disappeared. I don't know what that was about. So that wouldn't have possibly been a yellow because he just flat out disappeared. What an interesting race here at Coda. What a race that was. Let's take a look at your final results. Connor Zilic, your winner, 1.8 seconds over Alessio Deletta. What a performance from the number 9, eighth to first in 6 laps. That's quite incredible. Brennan Hubbard will come home in third. Shane Van Gisbergen going to hold off Nolan Siegel to extend his points lead just a little bit over the number 19, giving Siegel less and less chances to cut forward. Chet Jordan going to come home in sixth. Justin Allgaier will take seventh. Eighth will be Ryan Preece. Ninth, Devlin DeFrancesco. 10th for Dawa Tenzin, his first top 10 of the season. Miles Rowe will take 11th. Carlos Huertas in 12th. Lawless Allen 13th. Stingray Rob 14th. Glubler Laura 15th. And then Mahavir Gunathan, last car on the lead lap, in 16th. Then you get down to here, you got the guys involved in all the chaos. Lindsey Brewer, 17th, 1 lap down. Dorian Pin, 18th, could not recover from the first lap incident. Guy Gagné ends the race on his roof in 19th. Louis Foster in 20th with extensive damage. 21st, David Malukas. 22nd, Tinkle McStinkle. 23rd, Francesco Giacconi. 24th, Robbie Lohr. 25th, Marcus Armstrong. 26th, Benjamin Peterson. And then 27th is Ethan Martz. That was quite a race. A lot of chaos, but fun, exciting strategy. And I've never seen something like that be pulled off by an AI car on iRacing, so that was quite incredible for me to watch. So that was the third to last road course of the season. Up next, we go to the new Mexico circuit, Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez, and that one's going to be a fun one to see cars go around there for the first time. Qualifying for that will be on Tuesday, and then race will be on Wednesday. It's the last natural terrain road course of the season, because the only other road course is the street course of Long Beach. But final quarter of the season, let's get it